Hey guys, welcome to Local Chords. I'm your host, Michael Kampa, and I'm here today with local singer-songwriter Darrell Pipo. How you doing today, Darrell?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So you've been playing in Hastings for quite a few years now.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in music and started writing songs?
You mean all those years ago?
All those years back.
Oh my gosh, that's a long time ago. And I give lessons to some kid, to a coworker's daughter, and I said the other day that I been playing guitar for 30 years, and it just really, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that, 30 years. But yeah, I started playing when I was like 15 years old, and just kind of went on. I learned by just playing chords, learning by ear, listening to a lot of Rush and Pink Floyd and the Police and stuff like that when I was in high school, and graduated to like alternative music. And when I went to college, I started writing music. And when I met girls, I started writing music because that really made me depressed. And so that's when you start writing the best. So.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about your songwriting process and how you turn those real life experiences into music.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just things that were occurring to me at the time. And like the songs that I played here today, I wrote them over 20 years ago. And I haven't really performed them for a really long time, and it was just, there's just little love songs about girls' relationships that didn't work out or something like that, how I wish they would have or something, so just silly stuff like that. And so only a couple of them were really good stories that I was able to pull out, so. Didn't care to be by your side tonight. Just keep telling myself it'll be alright. 'Cause when you look at me, I don't know what to say. Words don't come easy to express my thoughts today. Stars will always shine and the rain will always fall. And I'll always be here if you decide to call. I'll meet you at the cafe where we can talk all night of nothing very important, just those things of life. But I feel there's nothing to make you look my way. Love's a game, win or lose, but we all win the play. Stars will always shine and the rain will always fall. And I'll always be here if you decide to go.
So I know a lot of the songs you played today are a little bit older, but let's go back in time and talk about some of those stories. So 2 Tickets is one of them. What's the story there?
Sure. This was one that actually, it was a story that came up. I worked at a coffee shop when I was in college up in St. Cloud, and there was a gal that was working there, and her and her boyfriend had been together for a while, and right when I was starting, she said that her and her boyfriend were leaving, and they were going on a road trip out west to kind of follow, I think they were following the Grateful Dead, if I'm not mistaken. And so they were following some bands out there, and I didn't really know this at the time, but they had their full intention to get married when they got to Las Vegas. And they would call every once in a while and say, how's it going? And I just happened to pick up the phone one day when she called. And I felt really bad because there was a lot more people there that she knew other than me. And I was the one that had to pick it up. And she told me what was going on. She said they got to Vegas, and they got to see Bob Dylan in Las Vegas. And there's this really small venue at the Hard Rock Cafe called The Joint. And they were going to get married, but instead of getting married, they bought their 2 tickets to see Bob Dylan instead. And I'm like, that's a great idea for a song. And so I just rolled with it, and it's gone through a couple of changes here and there, but it's been fun to bring back and kind of play again.
They were young and getting old, and they needed some time alone. So they packed their bags and they hit the road, searching for their pot of gold. In the distance they saw some lights and decided to call it home. Decided to raise a little family there, dealing cards at the casino. They had always pondered life, filled with marriage and children. But when the time had finally come, they bought 2 tickets to see Bob Dylan. He said, I don't know when we started, but I sure know where we've been. All I know is that our love will last until the bitter end. And then one day he got down on one knee and he started to propose. She said, let's go see that Dylan show. And he said, I suppose. They had always pondered life, filled with marriage and children. But when the time had finally come, we bought 2 tickets to see Bob Dylan. Now it's been 10 years and they're looking back at what their lives could have been. That night when they hit the joint, they knew that they would never win. They had always pondered life, filled with marriage and children. But bought 2 tickets to see Bob Dylan.
So a lot of people in town might not know you as a musician, but they'd know you as a teacher because you're a teacher at the middle school.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Correct. Yeah, I've been working at my 11th year at the middle school. I'm a special ed teacher. I work with students with emotional behavior disabilities, kind of somewhat some of the naughtier kids, some of the more high anxiety type kids, and I teach a number of social skills classes, and I have a small group math class that I teach also for kids who struggle in the mainstream math class. So.
Cool. And, I've noticed this correlation between Hastings teachers and music. You've got you, Bert Casperson, Nick Fox. You guys are all big in the music scene here. Do you think there's a specific correlation there, or is it just coincidence?
It all comes to where you work, and, being teachers, we have a lot. We need to get out our aggressions in some way, I guess, maybe, or just get out whatever we have that's happened during the day. Music's a good way to do it. And, so, yeah, just to try and, you got to move on past some of the things that happen to you during the day, some of the frustrations that occur, and music, to me, music is a good way to get past some of those, to get it out of my mind, and so I can move on and live the life that I want to live after I leave work. Leave work at work is basically what I want to do.
Well, she's kind of like an artist sitting on the floor. Never finishes, she abandons, never shows a soul. And she's kind of like a movie that everyone rushes to see, and no one understands it, sitting in their seats. Opens her mouth to speak, and what comes out's a mystery. Thought about, not understood, and she's aching to be. Well, she dances alone in the nightclubs every other day of the week. People look right through her. Baby doll, check your cheek. And she's kinda like a poet who finds it hard to speak. The poems come so slowly, like the colors down a sheet. She opens her mouth to speak, and it comes out some mystery. Thought about, not understood, and she's aching to be. And I've been aching for a while now, friend. And I've been aching hard for years. Yeehaw! Well, she's kinda like an artist who uses paints no more. Never showing me what you're doing, never show a soul. Well, I saw one of your pictures, there was nothing that I could see. If no one's on your campus, well, I'm aching to be. She closes her mouth to speak, and closes her eyes to see. Thought about not only love, and she's aching to be. And just like me,
And then another song was Now We're There. How did that one come together?
It's interesting you asked me about that because Now We're There, that's actually the last song I ever wrote. And that was about 15 years ago. And it was right around the time that I got married. And like I said, that, I always wrote in not really the Depression era, but it was like, when things went kind of sour with relationships, that's what I wrote about. But this one happened to be about getting together with my wife and our relationship building, and it's like where we were at, and we're going to continue with it, and now we're there. We have that relationship, that solid basis to go with, and that's what I based that song off of.
That's cool. And have you played it for your wife?
It's been a long time. It's been a really long time.
And how did she react the first time?
Just fine. And it's like every one of them. I mean, they've always gone through a lot of changes, and I think this one's finally got, having to do this, it's finally got its niche now. It's got its place.
There's been something floating around my head. I ain't seen no one. I'd rather be here with you instead. Sometimes it's hard to be all I want to. I'm always trying my best to get closer to you. Take my hand and walk with me, and I'll show you all we could be. Just give me a chance, we've got to see if this road leads on to you and me. It's hard to sleep tonight after you went away. Dreams don't come easily when I got so much I need to say. 'Cause I could lose my mind and take a ship out to sea. I'd wander around this great big world, hoping you'd come find me. Take my hand and walk with me, and I'll show you all we could be. Just give me a chance, we've got to see if this road leads on to you and me. You and me, oh, to you and me.
So another cover you played was "Souvenirs" by John Prine, which is a really nice song that I hadn't heard before.
Okay.
So what's your connection to that one?
And it's good we're saying this one at the end because it's kind of like a down note on this one, I guess, sort of. But with Souvenirs and John Prine, I knew about John Prine a long time ago. It didn't really click in with me to listen to him until about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was when I started playing in Hastings and so forth. And a dear friend of mine, his name is Chris Merritt Mall, and we had saw John Prine and got into his music and started learning the songs and everything. And very sadly, Merritt passed away a number of years back, and I was asked every time he came to our show, every time I played John Prine, he was the one that was singing every lyric to every song, and then it was great because he would always suggest, hey, Darrell, you got to learn this one now. You got to learn this one. And I love that. I always go to my elders because those guys that grew up in the 60s, they got great music taste. And so he told me to, kind of learn these songs. I found Souvenirs, and I played it at his funeral. And it's just one of those songs that's really, it really hits the heart, really a lot. So.
the snow is turned to water. Christmas days are come and gone. Broken toys and faded colors are all that's left to linger on. I hate graveyards and old pawn shops, for they always bring me tears. I can't forgive the way they robbed me of my childhood souvenirs. Memories that can't be bought, they can't be won at carnivals for free. Well, it took me years to get those souvenirs. I don't know how they slipped away from me. Broken hearts and dirty windows make life difficult to see. And that's why last night and this morning always look the same to me. I hate reading old love letters, for they always bring me tears. I can't forget the way they robbed me of my sweetheart souvenirs. Memories that can't be bought, they can't be won at carnivals for free. It took me